I am making a Regenesis Dogmatica kashtira deck profile. I am still waiting on a few cards for this deck, but I figure I'd go ahead and make a video for it for now. Wait, I'll start off with the monsters. I play 3 copies of Dogmatica Ecclesia the Virtuous. Ecclesia has the effect that once per turn, you can add a Dogmatica card from your deck to your hand. However, if you use this effect, you can't summon 3 extra until the end of, or for the rest of the turn. Not till the end of the turn, but the rest of the turn. And then you can special summon Ecclesia from your hand if your opponent controls a monster special summon from the extra deck. And then Ecclesia cannot be destroyed by monsters special summon from the extra deck. And then you can banish a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster from your graveyard to be able to special summon your 1 copy of Dogmatica Maximus. Maximus then has the effect that once per turn, you can send 2 different monsters from your extra deck to the graveyard to then make your opponent send 2 monsters from their extra deck to the graveyard. You cannot special summon the extra deck for the rest of the turn after you use this effect. Which is fine because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 6 of the 15 cards in this extra deck are actually meant to be summoned. The other 9 are meant to be dumped. And then I also play 1 copy of Fleur-de-Lis the Knighted. Fleur-de-Lis the Knighted has the effect that... Let's see, how does it work specifically? Does it control Dogmatica? Okay. If there's a monster special in the extra deck on the field, you can activate Fleur-de-Lis' effect as a quick effect, be able to special summon itself, and then target one and then you can negate the effects of 1 monster on the field. And if a Dogmatica monster battles, or is it discard battles? I can never remember. When your Dogmatica monster declares an attack, you can use its effect to make all your Dogmatica monsters be able to gain 500 attack permanently. And then, I believe there's a once per turn there somewhere. You can only use each effect of Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis the Knighted once per turn. I would play more than 1, but for now I only have 1 as I'm still waiting for 2 more to show up in the mail. Just so that I have a play set when I only plan on playing 2. And then next I play 3 copies of kashtira Fenrir. Fenrir I feel like is one of the more broken kashtira monsters, as it and the next monster both share the effect that if you control no monsters, you can special summon from your hand. And then Fenrir lets you, once per turn, add a kashtira monster from your deck to your hand. And then when it attacks or your opponent activates a monster effect, on the resolution, you can activate Fenrir's effect to banish 1 card your opponent controls face down. And you will use each effect of kashtira Fenrir once per turn. Next, I play 3 copies of kashtira Unicorn. Unicorn is the more important of the 2 for this deck, as it's the one with the 2500 attack. But Unicorn does the same thing as Fenrir, except it searches a kashtira spell card. And then Unicorn lets you look at your opponent's extra deck and banish a card from it face down. Next, I play 3 copies of Replicard Lad. Replicard Lad has the effect that you can special summon it by banishing a level 7 or higher monster from your hand. And then when Replicard Lad is summoned, you can target 1 monster. I think that's what it is. You can target 1 summoned. Nope, it just lets you target 1 monster you control. Special summon a monster in your deck with a different name that shares at least 2 things in common with its attribute, its level, or its attack and defense. Which I'll usually have it target itself, and it can summon any regenesis monster. It can summon Unicorn. It can summon Fleur-de-Lis. I lied. If there's 1 regenesis monster it can't summon, which is a Lord. But overall, I think Replicard Lad is a really good card for this deck. I feel like it has an effect I'm forgetting. Okay. The last part of Replicard Lad's effect is that the monster you summon cannot activate its effects this turn. That's the part I was forgetting. Next, I play 1 copy of Regenesis Warrior. Regenesis Warrior, like the next 3 Regenesis monsters, share the effect of if you control a monster that has 30 the next two regenesis monsters, I should say, share the effect that if you control a monster that has 2500 original attack or defense, you can special this card from your hand. Then they all have quick effects that let you do something or tribute either themselves or another card to then do something. Warrior's case is you contribute it at any time as a quick effect to be able to target one monster your opponent controls, return to the hand. And then Warrior, and the next three Regenesis monsters share the end phase effect. If this during your opponent's end phase, those cards in the graveyard because it was sent through this turn, return to your hand, or you can return to your hand. Next, I play 2 copies of Regenesis Sage. Regenesis Sage is an Omni-Negate. As when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send any Regenesis card from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard. When your opponent activates a card or effect, negate that card, and if you do, destroy it. Next, I play 1 copy of Regenesis Dragon. Dragon is just a Cosmic Cyclone by treating itself as a quick effect. Then I play 3 copies of the main Searcher, which is 3 copies of Regenesis Archfiend. Regenesis Archfiend has the effect that you can reveal a monster with 2500 original attack or defense from your hand, special summon it from your hand, and then, when it's summoned, you can add 1 Regenesis card from your deck to your hand. And lastly, for the monsters, I play 1 copy of Regenesis Lord. Regenesis Lord can be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 monster with 2500 attack and defense. Or with 2500 attack and defense. I can't remember if I said and or. When Regenesis Lord is summoned, it lets you set a Regenesis spell or trap from your deck. During the battle phase, Regenesis Lord gains 2500 attack points, and when it attacks a monster in defense position, it inflicts piercing battle damage. I really wish Lord had some kind of effect, like it cannot be targeted by card effects, or it can't be destroyed by card effects. Just something that would make playing it at 1 a whole lot better. Moving on to 1 of spells, I play 1 copy of Pressure Planet Wraithoth and 1 Birth. Kashtira Birth just lets you normal summon level 7 monsters without tribute. Then, I know it does more than that, I just can't remember anything beyond that. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 of your non-Xyz Kashtira monsters that's banished or in your graveyard. If your opponent activates a spell card or the effect of a spell card and you control a Kashtira monster, target 3 cards in your opponent's graveyard, banish them face down. And then Pressure Planet just makes it so that when it's activated, you can add a Kashtira card from your deck to your hand, or you can add a Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand. And then all monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense for each different attribute on the field. Next, I play 2 copies of Regenesis Cycle. I was thinking about playing 3 of it, but I thought about it and realized it's really easy to get to if you need it. Also, the fact it's a hard once per turn, so I figured I'd go ahead and only play 2. I took 1 out. The Regenesis Cycle lets you target 1 card on the field while you control a monster with an original attack of 2500. Or a monster with an original attack and defense of 2500, I believe. Just going to check to make sure I'm not wrong. Okay, no, it has to be 2500 original attack or defense to use that effect. Or if you control Regenesis Lord, you can target 2 cards instead to then banish them. And then next I play 3 copies of Nadir Servant. Nadir Servant has the effect that you can send a monster from your deck to the graveyard to then add a Dogmatica monster from your deck to your hand that has attack less than or equal to the sent monster's attack. And then you can't summon your deck for the rest of the turn. And you can only activate 1 Nadir Servant once per turn. You can activate Nadir Servant once per turn. There we go. Next I play 3 copies of Regenesis Code. Regenesis Code is emergency teleport for Regenesis, as this lets you summon a Regenesis monster from your deck. However, it is destroyed during your opponent's next end phase. And then, also until the end of the next turn, you cannot special summon from the extra deck. And then, when Code is in the graveyard, except for the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card from your graveyard to then special summon a Regenesis monster from your banish? Yeah. Unless you target 1 of your banished Regenesis monsters and special summon it. That's the other thing I forgot to mention about Regenesis Cycle. This cycle also has the effect of while its cards in the graveyard except the turn it was sent there. You can banish this card special on a Regenesis monster. Or my bad. You banish it special on a monster with 2500 original attack or defense from your hand. So, Cycle lets you summon from hand. Code lets you summon from banish. And then the next card, Regenesis, lets you then just special summon a Regenesis monster from your graveyard. Or banish. Graveyard. Graveyard, banish, and the other one's hand. But Regenesis also has the effect that when it's activated, you can add any Regenesis monster from your deck to your hand. You only use each effect of Regenesis once per turn. For the traps, I play 2 copies of Regenesis Birth. Regenesis Birth has 2 effects. You only use one of the 2 effects each turn, where you can send 1 Regenesis monster from your deck to the graveyard, target a monster your opponent controls, flip it face down. And during your opponent's turn, you can send this card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard, to then special summon as many different banished, or as many different Regenesis monsters from your hand, graveyard, and banish as possible. Which, that effect actually makes this next card really broken, in my opinion. There's 3 copies of Regenesis Commands. Regenesis Commands has the effect that you can apply its effects in sequence. You apply these effects to all cards your opponent controls in the same column as your Regenesis monsters. So face-up cards negate their effects. Face-down monsters cannot change their battle positions. And then face-down spells and traps cannot be activated until the end of the next turn. And you can only activate 1 Regenesis Commands per turn. But the thing I like about commands is that you can actually use Birth, so you have a Regenesis monster in each of your 5 columns. So then this just negates your opponent's 5 columns, so then you face up cards. Your opponent can't activate set cards till the end of the next turn. Or was it the end of the turn? Yeah, until the end of the next turn. But it just made me laugh because I told my friends about this card, and his first thought was they made Regenesis Mech Knights, which I actually thought was kind of funny. But that is it for the main deck. Moving off to the side deck real quick, because I just want to mention it while I'm thinking about it. But there is one card in the side deck I actually wanted to main, which is 3 copies of Quiet Life. The only reason I wanted to main these instead of siding them is because it has to be activated at the main phase, or start of main phase 1. But it basically just makes each player has the effect that if they normal summon, they can't special summon. And if they special summon, they can't normal summon. And I figured this would be funny in the deck, at least before I added in the kashtiras, because the only normal summon of the deck actually was Ecclesia. As long as you're going second, Ecclesia can just special summon herself. But this is just a card I really wanted to use in the deck. But if you use it then in the deck, then it probably be a good idea to side out the kashtira cards, just because of how if you normal summon one, then you can't just keep going because bleh. Anyway, for the extra deck, I play 1 copy of IP Masquerena. IP Masquerena just lets you link summon during your opponent's main phase using this card. And the link monster that's link summoned using this card can't be destroyed until the end of the next, or can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Then I play 1 copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight has the effect that when it's link summoned using a fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link monster, you can target 1 card on the field or in the graveyard and banish it. But if you use that effect, you cannot attack directly that turn. Then Little Knight has the other effect of when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can activate Little Knight's effect, target 1 monster you control and 1 other monster on the field, and banish them until the end phase of the turn. Next, I play 1 copy of Blackluster Soldier. I actually forget the rest of its name, Soldier of Chaos. This is just in here because if you're making it, then you're guaranteed to use at least a monster that's level 7 or higher. Because Ecclesia, if I remember correctly, is the only level 4 lower monster in the deck. But Blackluster Soldier has the effect that if this card was link zoned using a level 7 or higher monster as material, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. When this card destroys a monster in a battle, you can activate one of the following effects, or you can have it gain 1500 attack. You can make it be able to attack it again, or you can make it so it can make a second attack on your next battle phase. Or you can banish one card in the field, which ordinarily I would do the banish one card. Then next, I play one copy of number 11 Big Eye. This just lets you use a material, target one monster your opponent controls, steal it, and then Big Eye can't attack directly the turn you use that effect. And then next, just because I thought it'd be funny, I play one copy of number 7 Lucky Straight. Lucky Straight has the effect that you can use the material to roll 2 dice and then gains attack. Or his attack becomes equal to the number you rolled times 7. Yeah, until your opponent's next end phase. Then if the roll was exactly 7, you can play one of the following effects. Send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. Special summon a monster from your hand or from either graveyard. Or draw 3 cards and discard 2. I just think it's funny that through this card, Graceful Charity is technically legal. And then the last card that actually gets summoned in this deck is one copy of Typhon. Typhon has the effect that you can also Xyz summon it by using the strongest monster on your field, your choice if tied. And you special summon it by doing that while your opponent has special summoned 2 or more monsters from the extra deck during that turn or the previous turn. But while Typhon's on the field, monsters with 3,000 or more attack cannot activate their effects. And then it also has the effect of being able to, once per turn, detach material, target card your opponent controls, return to the hand. And now, make sure I get any of these. Okay, for the cards that get dumped, I play one copy of, forget the name, Frigide. Frigide just lets you draw a card, then put a card from your hand back into the deck. Is it back into the deck or to the bottom? I can never remember. Okay, you draw a card, then you put a card in your hand at the bottom of the deck, which, if it's a card that you don't want to see in your hand, then that's pretty good. Which, that normally gets sent off of the effect of Bucephalus, which when it's sent to the graveyard, lets you send a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. But the thing I like about this card is, while it's in the graveyard, your opponent declares an attack, you can use Bucephalus' effect to then, I believe it banishes their field. Let's see. When a monster declares an attack, you can banish this card. Also banish all cards your opponent controls. That's what it was. Then next, I also play one copy of Aggregator. When this card is sent to the graveyard, it lets you target one card your opponent controls and negates effects. Next, I play 2 copies of Golden Cloud Beast Malong. My eyes do not want to work for some reason. Malong is just a compulsory evacuation device. Target one monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Then I play 1 copy of Cyframe Lord Omega. Omega is just in here for a Ultimate Slayer target for Synchro. As you can send Omega, and then Omega can activate its effect, target itself, and another card that's in your graveyard, return them to the extra deck. Or return them to the deck. Then I play 2 copies of Elder Entity Natis, or as my brother likes to call it, Elder Entity Ns. But when Natis is sent to the graveyard, target 1 card on your opponent's field, destroy it. And lastly, I play 1 copy of Garura, Wings of Resonant Life. When Garura is sent to the graveyard, you get to draw a card. Which, Garura actually scares me with Nadir's Servant, just because it's essentially... By sending this with Nadir's Servant, you've essentially just made a Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. Which, that card just makes so you get to add a Sky Striker card and then draw a card. Whereas Nadir's Servant, in sending this, lets you add a Dogmatica card and then draw a card. But that is it for my Dogmatica Regenesis Kashtira deck profile. If you have any ideas the decks like to see be made in the future, decks like to see face each other, or any comments for how you can improve the deck, feel free to comment down below. I do plan on adding Kashtira Theosis, probably a second Birth, and a second Fleur-de-Lis to the deck. So I at least have that plan. But if you have any comments, comment below. I always read the comments. Thank you for watching.